What's up, world? Not sure if anybody out there is woke, but if you is, what's popping? What's good with you? Got a live stream from Kyrie Irving that we gonna just react to. So if you woke, if you happen to run across this thing, let me know how you feel about it.
Yo, peace to each one of y'all. Sending my prayers up to the Creator, to our ancestors for healing. We all need it about now. You know, they call this the Lord's Day in certain religions, certain parts of our society. So I'm gonna pay my respect and my homage. But um, shoot, what do I have to tell y'all? Y'all making me forget. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. You know, I'm just trolling y'all. But shoot, I gotta share something with y'all. It ain't no bad news or anything like that. It's just a reality, right? And I'm gonna ask y'all from my soul to yours, please do not get distracted out here. Please do not fall victim to what the system is putting out there. It's a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of trauma going around. It's a whole lot happening in our world. And the system wants you to be depressed, wants you to be in a state of being that is low vibrational.
Hey man, Kyrie sound just like me.
All right. It's it's a change and it's a shift in what's going on in our world right now. And I'm letting you know, I'm not being arrogant or anything like that, but from 1981 to 1996, this millennial generation, I hope y'all know, we're here to shake some shit up.
Yes, sir.
We're here to shake some stuff up. But in order to shake some stuff up, right? And the next generation, Gen Z, is gonna come right after us, so they're watching us, right? Then you got my kids' generation, which is very young. But I got on here to say this: please do not get distracted out here, emotionally, spiritually, because the system itself is, it's dying. It's dying. Old ways of living, the old ways of doing things. It's not gonna last for too much longer, y'all. I'm just saying. And I don't know anything, right? I don't know all the answers to what's going on, but I'm saying this to y'all specifically because it's important that those that understand, that are aligned and what's going on around here, that y'all paying attention, because without us making a change right now and shifting our consciousness, our kids they're gonna fall victim to this system too. And the system I'm talking about it's a myriad of objective topics that we follow since we were kids, which is sex, love, relationships, religion, culture, class, finance, entertainment, media, social platforms at this point. Please do not fall victim to these things that are being manipulated and controlled. Please do not. Please do not. We have so many truth tellers out here that are doing the right things. Um, you know, and I could point them out, but you have to have your own level of discernment once you're uh, consciously awakened to what's really going on. And I could go on and on, but look, I have to speak in general topics because it gets too mixy. You know what I'm saying? But I hopped on here specifically to share something with y'all. My generation, the millennial generation, we got to be better. We got to be better. My millennial generation, we got to be better. We know too much of the truth. And sometimes that will put us in places where we're fearful or we have anxiety. And in order to make an impact out here that is generationally sound, where it lasts for not just one generation, but for 7 to 10 to 20 generations now, we have to break free mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to do it, but we have people out here that are willing to extend a helping hand and do it, you know? And I went live on this main page because I know that, some people are going to take this as, oh man, this guy's, what is he talking about now? This guy thinks and it's like, it's not even about that. I don't even have energy to give that to give to that today, or any point in my life. But I will tell you this, we got to be better. We have to protect our youth. We have to protect our ways of life. We have to protect the kids that are looking up to us. So my millennial generation, this is a call out to you. No, real talk. This is a shout out to you. As Gen Z's watching and our older generation is waiting for us to take control of the wheel and lead our world into new places, new ways of thinking, because it's not happening, without the proper techniques and strategies. It's not happening if we're not prepared. So, and I say my generation because the millennial generation is because we help create a lot of these social platforms. We help create a lot of these trends. We help create a lot of these, new waves of doing things. Like, I'm not saying that arrogantly, but from 1981 to 1996, this is specifically for y'all. Please, 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 please educate the youth the right way. Please, please, we are star seeds just like Gen Z is, just like our elders were. We are star seeds. We returned here for a bigger purpose that many people won't understand. And a lot of this Instagram live will go over people's heads, but that's okay. That's okay. Not everybody's going to get the fight. Not everybody's going to get into the war. Not everybody's fearless out here. You know what I'm saying? I'll be more specific when I say this. I'm getting a lot of wisdom from the elders, and they're telling me that this generation that I'm in, and I'm talking about born from 1981 to 1996, that if we don't get our stuff together and start making a conscious effort to change the ways of living out here, we will be doomed. If we keep living the same lifestyle that we looked at when we were kids and saw like, oh, this is popping. Oh, this is one of the people I need to follow. Like, think about social media in general. Like, you guys we're just following. And I say you guys, no, we are just following people. We're just following people. That is a level of influence that can be dangerous if it's not poured in the right places. And I woke up with this on my spirit because I had to let it off. This was what was called to me this morning. I don't know what exactly, but this is what has been called for me to share with you guys. The elder generation is saying it's time to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. I'm not going to tell y'all how to live, what to think. But our millennial generation, this is specifically being accountable for us.
Shine that light.
We can't try to force our thoughts and our ways on anybody else, but we have to know that the right way is already in us.
Oh, God.
That's why you have to be rooted and grounded in who you are. I'll tell you this. This is my last thing before I hop off live. I wake up every single day knowing that my skin color is something that is hated on. My culture is something that has been pushed underneath the rug. They're now changing history to be forgotten about. And that's why I'm saying this generation, this millennial generation, specifically us, if we allow them to cover up all the history and all the things that have happened to our human race and what has been done, we will be doomed. That's all I'm saying. So all the young kids that may not understand it yet, that's fine. You're going to come into this. But to my generation, be better. Be better. Do not get distracted out here. Do not get to a place where you're stagnant. We have a lot of entrepreneurs. We have crypto. We have NFTs. We've redefined art. We have the metaverse coming. We have all these great things coming, you know what I mean? But still, when chaos happens and trauma happens, we revert back to our old ways.
Yes, sir.
They're trying to do everything possible in order to keep us in a low vibrational state.
State of fear, so you don't evolve.
A low vibrational state. If you don't know what low vibrational state of being is, please go look it up. But I'm specifically talking to my generation right now that if we do not teach our kids the truth of this world and what has happened and what has taken place, it will be lost in history. We will be lost. We will be the generation that's lost in history. Black, white, red, yellow, don't matter what color you are, there has been some type of part of your history or our human history that has been erased for purposes that go way beyond our understanding. And I won't tell you that I know everything. I know nothing, right? I know nothing. I'm just a star in the universe. But what I do know is when I'm called to share things and I pop out like this is for intention that goes way beyond, what I can understand physically at times. I understand, spiritually, but don't understand it physically and why I'm put in certain places, but standing tall. But look, I'm gonna end my point here. To my generation and to the older generation, we must bridge the gap, and it's happening now, but we must do it faster. We must do it faster. It's not happening. It's not happening. And the reason why I say it's not happening quick enough is because we had generations come before us and we're still doing the same ish.
Still screaming, still protesting, still marching.
Traumatic events are happening in our world. You know what I mean? We had a whole entire shooting in Buffalo, and there's no more news coverage anymore on the families. There's nothing. We had people of color die in Buffalo, and things took place that still limited the exposure and the coverage because it was based off of pure hatred, and it was an act of terrorism, and we won't call it that. I'm just telling y'all the truth right here, because when I say that my generation
and one thing I can drop in there is what I've paid attention to over these last 2-3 weeks is that we've had the Dylan Roof situation, we've had the Buffalo situation. As a black man, you can make a rap song talking about murdering black people and disrespecting black women. I can get on TV and talk about white supremacy and this and that. But there's one group of people that black individuals or white individuals can't speak of at all. And I'm starting to see that this white supremacy thing is just a curtain that you can pull back, and there's something else behind it. And the Kyrie dropping them gems.
Older generation has to bridge the gap because our kids are watching everything that we do. They're watching everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? The kids are watching everything that we do. But we want to put them in the metaverse. We want to put them in front of the TV. We want to put them on Instagram. We want to put them on social media so quick. We want to give them the same diseases that we have right now. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting my kids through this system that's designed to distract and demean and destroy character based on race, culture, class.
Kill your creativity.
I'm a native and I'm a black man or African man. I had to identify that because that's what was given to me in this Euro-centralized society. I had to identify as a race. I had to identify as a culture. I have to identify what my religion is. But the reason why I'm speaking like this is because to my generation and to the older generation, we can't have this. That's enough talking. We can't have this. This joint can't fly anymore.
And I just wanted to pick up on what he said, like, what us having to identify with a race or a culture. I got my 23andMe right here. I don't know if it's going to pull up on the camera or not. No, we can't get it this a little clear. But I'm 20% European. So what am I supposed to identify with? Because I'm pretty diverse. Let me see. 100% me. 77% sub-Saharan African, if these things are accurate. 20% European. Indonesians, so I guess that would be native. I'm 1%. I got some North African in me. I got some Korean in me. I got some Indonesian in me. All of this, man. Yeah, I play basketball, so that's why I know who he is. But I don't watch mainstream TV anywhere either. Truthfully, we haven't had cable in my house for like 7 years. It's so corrupt that they say if you watch the news, you're uninformed. If you don't watch the news, you're misinformed. So what I do, I just read every book I read is before the internet existed. And then I just look around at life and apply it to people who had to sit and do nothing but think all day. And it's like, man, we living upside down, seriously.
It can't happen anymore. And I'm called crazy trying to grow up in this Eurocentric society, or this society that holds white supremacy over the top of everything, which was created by them. I never created it.
Man, I didn't ask for white supremacy.
How can I be sane in a society that calls me crazy for trying to live a moral, just life, a principle-led life? I didn't grow up seeing color. I didn't grow up seeing, you know, religion and culture, bro. It was taught to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was taught to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know anybody who grew up seeing color. When we was outside playing tag, duck, duck, goose, freeze, hide and seek, I didn't care that it was a white kid. Society wants us to live by these labels for whatever reason, and you got to get back to yourself, to pure creator, because all of us are spirit encased in human flesh, nothing more or nothing less than that.
I grew up in school with this stuff. I had experiences. So my generation, like we still deal with it a lot, but our older generation dealt with it far more superior than we did, just because it was way out in the open. Now it's way more guarded and silent and subtle. All these isms and all these definitions that we put out here. And let me direct it back to my point. I can wake up every single day knowing that the system is right in front of me and I'm making money for the system. The system is what I need to survive, right? But the system also created an image of the way you're supposed to be.
And I think that's what's exposed now more than ever, is who's shaking the jar. Because the media, they man, when I say they caught red-handed, it's more than ever. And that's why I'm so happy that the internet is here, because this younger generation, their life is the internet. My kids, they can't do nothing but look at shorts all day. So it's learning how to connect with them and pass the wisdom down, so we don't have a generation of sheep running around.
Be out here, and that's just not reality. That's not reality.
And most people don't live in reality right now, if we being honest.
The image that's created of who we should be. Like, look on all these social media websites. Is everybody not trying to be the same?
Seriously.
Is everybody not trying to be the same on all these social platforms? Is everybody not trying to be famous? Everybody not trying to be liked? Is everybody not trying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and what's wrong with being yourself? Like, what is wrong with the way God made you? Everybody wasn't the cool kid in high school. Everybody wasn't the most popular. So why is that something that everyone strives for now that social media has came out? I keep saying we got to look in the mirror and be happy with who we are and not with who we think the world sees us as. When you fully love yourself, man, you understand the world is just a mirror, and the mirror can't judge you.
Like, I don't, but y'all want to crucify the people that want to make change, but as soon as some shit pop off, everybody runs back. I don't get it. Everybody runs back to their Twitter, to their Instagram, to their TikTok. Everybody runs back to social. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody just runs back. Nothing gets done. Nothing gets changed. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be the only one that's changing this thing, but damn, like, millennials, we got to be better.
For real.
We got to be better. Millennials, our generation, this is for us. And y'all know who I'm talking to, our generation.
And I agree, because looking at the age of Migos, they 30, 28. We too old to be trapping and rapping, to be still talking about strip clubs. We at the age we need to be raising our children, having a wife, planning for our future, coaching our kids' soccer teams and basketball teams. Society and hip-hop culture in particular has made America stay teenagers. All everyone wants to do is just party and have fun and never grow up, but you have to accept responsibility or you forever be a slave in this system of life.
1981 to 1996.
We're 81 and 96. We need y'all.
That generation and our older generation, I don't want to say older, like age, stuff like that. I'm just saying our more wise generation, our elders ahead of us, they got it. They got us. They're going to protect us. They're going to protect us. But first, we have to reclaim a few things. We have to eat well. That doesn't mean just going vegan. We have to eat well. You have to eat well. You have to treat your body right. You have to treat your mind right. You have to know what you're putting in here.
Yes, sir.
You have to let go of things. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. I had to let go of seeing my ancestors buried in places that have been covered up by lakes. I had to go see museums with nooses around my ancestors' necks. I had to go see lawmakers that are still living today that put a lot of my family members in bondage or in prison or oppress them in some type of way. I had to go see that, and I had to let go of that energy.
And also, man, to piggyback off that, has there ever been a generation where you did not have to live through trauma? Like, we can go back, and lynchings used to be public, beheadings used to be public, police having dogs sicked on people was public, and now we got shootings that are public, and now hell, we kill each other, and it's still publicly. So for the entire human existence, most brown, well, I don't even like that. Black people have been living in a state of fear. And you can't grow if you have anxiety, man. We know what anxiety does to your body, your blood. It cripples you down and breaks you down, and you slowly die. This matrix, this video game that we're in, it wants your energy. Energy is the highest form of currency we have as humans. It's not money, it's your energy. So disconnect from that state of fear, which means just being at peace and not holding a grudge or judgment to what has happened in the past. Learn from it, but don't let it affect your emotions.
That hateful energy that I had in order to move on in this world, to talk openly. Because if I didn't let it go, I would have been walking around as what? The angry black man.
Yep.
The angry black man. I had to, that's always the MO. If you're the angry black man, you can't get anything done. So I had to change up my approach and my perspective. Doesn't mean that I'm not ready for war out here, but it just means that I know who my enemy is and why they're doing what they're doing. And the reason why I express these things to you is because the millennials, we have the answers. We have the answers. It starts with our diet. It starts with our spiritual
Health
systems. It starts with breaking free out of this matrix, out of this system where you're not controlled by it. You're not run by it.
I think everybody should read The Miseducation of the Negro. Because you could read that book and it sounds like it was written yesterday. You could read Color, Communism, and Common Sense by Manning Johnson. And it sounds like it was just written yesterday. I know we got somebody here that said that Kyrie just be talking, but would you agree that we live in the system that breeds off your fear, off your insecurities, off your doubts? And the minute that someone stands up and has a little confidence in themselves, they get shot back down by the system. And then once they get old again, let's say a Muhammad Ali, once they can't talk and catch Parkinson's, then they become a star again. Because I think we can all agree right now that the media hates Kyrie, but let him get 65 and be on his deathbed and watch how much he's a NBA legend and icon and all that.
And everybody calls it the matrix, the system, whatever you want to describe it as, right? But we wake up every single day and you're not in control, are you? All right, then. You know, so let me round in everything I said. I was gonna do a post. I was gonna do, you know, something the norm, like I was gonna do something like that. But if we don't wake up, millennial generation, and if we don't partner with our elders, and if we don't teach our kids the right ways of living, meaning that.
So if you don't agree with that, then I would ask, what's your standpoint? Because I would say I was born in a system that literally told me that how great I could be or how far I could go depends on my skin color. And I would say that that's still being taught every single day. And I know that's a lie. My brain has no idea what color my skin is or how hard I work or how much effort I put in. And I think you could read, what's the book? The Science of Being Great by Wallace D. Wattles. And it said that none of us are limited or fixed on what we can be or can become. You can read Ralph Waldo Emerson's Self-Reliance. But society doesn't tell me that. So if you would say that Kyrie would just be talking, then is our health important? Why is the majority of America obese? Why is the majority of America walking around in anxiety or with depression? Why are 1 in 3 women taking antidepressant pills? You could say it's self-imposed, and I would agree with that if it wasn't the entire nation. So you would have to say where attention goes, energy flows, and someone somewhere is caught and is stealing that currency, aka that money. Oh, and I agree, like, that you say your children spend, are you saying American children spend less than 30 minutes a day on homework? Not my children in my house. But I do agree it's a cultural system that has declined, where school isn't important, homework isn't important, betterment isn't important. But where is that taught at? And that's why I say hip-hop culture, as much as it's number one in America, it is pulled down. You can point to any nation. I'm not saying there won't be problems in society. I'm saying, what you're trying to say is that the difference between black and white is not white people's fault. I'm not saying that white people are responsible for hip hop culture or the demise of black people or any of that. I don't know who comes up with these behind the curtains ideas. I could just say once you learn to read, as Frederick Douglass said, you forever become free, and that's learning your own mind and learning that you control yourself, that you have a direct connection to the creator, and I don't need a third party human to stand in front of me to tell me what I can and can't do. But the masses don't know that because God has been removed from the world. Would you agree
When
with
they're
that?
4 and 5 and 6 and 7 years old, and then when they turn 8 and they go to school, and all of a sudden racism becomes a thing, and all of a sudden like capitalism becomes a thing based on comparison, like who has the most money in the household, all that good stuff that we like to argue about. But I'm saying millennials, if we don't partner with the elders and if we don't take care of Gen Z and the generation that come after, we're doomed, bro. We have the power. We are the majority. Y'all keep forgetting that. Y'all thought it was hard for me to stand on what I believe in, but it's not. It just means that you have to be ready to deal with the consequences, whatever comes that way. And again, I'm going to tell y'all and I'm going to repeat this. I don't know all the answers. I don't have all of them. I won't pretend like I do because there's so much information out there, but I will share this with you. When it's on my spirit and on my heart and I've meditated on it, I prayed on it, I'm going to share it in a way that is positively reinforced. I have no hatred for people in my heart. I am a soul bound by this universe to do amazing things. Even if it's small in someone else's perception, it's big in mine. It's my life, it's my journey, right? I never was born to see color, culture, class, all these things, right? I grew up in it. But now that I identify with my family lineage and I know where I come from, there's not anything that could really make me go into hiding anymore because I've seen it all. There's new.
Because that's the thing I see. Bro said, he makes $30 million a year. In our society, we've put a lot of value or hype on money or whatever. But if you hand your children $30 million and don't teach them any of your wisdom, then you just got some rich dummies. And that's the problem with our society is we got a bunch of people with a lot of money, but they dumb as hell.
New things happening under the sun all the time, but they've convinced you that there's nothing new happening. You feel me? We're stronger together. We are way stronger together. Way stronger together. And the first thing that I want to see out here is all of us being able to have a conversation, right? And I don't say all of us, like it can't happen all at once, but all of us that have a conversation within our households where we address a lot of the stuff that happened in the past without getting too angry about it and leaving the table unheard and hurt.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Because I'll tell you this.
I agree you can't be anti-capitalism making 30 million. I'm
look,
super pro-cap. I want to make 30 million a year.
Pain and anxiety and fear is still in my DNA. It's still in the DNA. All the things that my family went through in the past and that I've seen, it went away. And the reason why I shouted out the millennial generation, because y'all feel this. Y'all feel this and y'all know. My generation knows. We grew up a certain type of way and we're trying to change things, but every time we get back pushback, sometimes we give up.
And I think that's what, I agree with you on the hypocrisy because I know Kyrie make a lot of money. I know Kanye make a lot of money. I don't think the complaint should be someone else's over our contracts. I think you should just be explaining, hey, you got to read every part of your contract. Get 4 or 5 lawyers. Understand that most lawyers are working with the labels behind the scenes and they all trying to get over on you. Talking in code isn't going to get anywhere because, like you said, he makes $30 million a year. So, yeah, he can give all this message. But when it's some 16-year-old Mikey Williams, he's still going to take that money and go to the league. And once you sign a contract, you cannot say whatever you want. And I personally, that's why I like the independent route. I like people who are willing to stand on their own truth and believe that they can get where they want to go without somebody else pulling them up there. So yes, I plan to make $30 million a year, but I don't need somebody else's hand to help me make it. I believe God gonna give it to me.
It's like, nah, F that. F that.
100%. That's what exactly. You create your own. That, everybody. Nah. There should never be a complaint about can I play in the NFL? Can I play in the NBA? We all have the power to create. Every single one of us. I think Vince McMahon was the XFL, There used to be the ABA back in the league. I agree with you. Every single individual has the power to create something new, and complaining about someone else's system won't get you anywhere. Or 100. But the thing is, anyone who speaks intelligent and articulate, they have to demonize them because you don't want the conversation to be had. So it's really easy just to label somebody as something versus to sit down and conversate. I don't agree with everything Kyrie says or Kanye says. I don't expect anybody to agree with everything I say, but we should be able to conversate respectfully. Like, I don't think no man is your friend, no man is your enemy, every man is your teacher, because we all have a different life perspectives. But that's if you want to grow. Or I can say my perspective is right and everybody else is wrong, but that keeps me from not reaching my highest level of success.
It's find your tribe season. Find your tribe. And not everybody is going to get along. I don't expect that. But what I am expecting is that the millennial generation, when we connect with our elders, show some respect for the wisdom that they have, but do not judge their ignorance. Do not judge them. Do not criticize what they do not know. Share the information. Give them the right portals. And to my younger generation that's watching this,
don't vote Democrat.
Comments, TikTok comments, living your life on social media and technology is not the end all be all, and that's not real life. It's a part of life, but it's not real life.
You know, Prince said that. He said, use the internet, but don't let the internet use you. But for this younger generation of kids, most of them have maybe one sibling. Most of them live in a single parent household and mom is at work all day. So the internet is real life for them. Because they can't walk next door and knock on their friend's door and say, come outside and talk. They can't walk to a park and play. This is the loneliest generation of kids ever. And that's why social media has to change on the content we're giving children. Because I was fortunate enough to grow up with a stay-at-home mom. So every time I got off the school bus, my mama was there and I had somebody to interact with. I couldn't imagine being one of these young kids lonely in society and social media is my only connection to another human.
So as we're fighting this fight, and I say we're, meaning there are races of people, specifically African people, native people around the world that are fighting for their lives based on skin color. And because of that, there is always this veil that's over top of people's consciousness because they would like to keep you, meaning the system would like to keep you distracted physically, mentally.
Hey, yeah, no, believe it or not, man, I went to vote yesterday, and there was a bunch of old people in there, and they tried to hand me a Democrat ballot, and I told them I was a Republican. And I was like, did y'all know Martin Luther King was a registered Republican? Did y'all know black Americans have been voting majority Democrat since 1936? I get along well with old people, and not just old people, but people in general now. Just humans want to be talked to real sweet. You know, we live in a sensitive society where everybody is real hyper emotional. So the older people that I know, because of the way I move, and for me to grow up in the environment that I grew up in and be the person I am, it doesn't match at all, just because of how much I've evolved as a human. But I do agree, man, we need wisdom from individuals who was born in the 40s, who was born in the 30s, who can give us truth to power. When I stepped into my journey to conservatism, it was some older black men who all own businesses, all own land. I've never heard them complain. I never heard my grandpa not once talk about racism or white supremacy. My dad never complained about white people white supremacy. He just got up and went to work every day. And I agree with you as well. Kanye, they helped him make 11. If Kanye became worth 11 billion, how much do you think the people was working with him became worth? Like, no one is giving you a free hand in this society. And the Kanye situation is different because I do understand his frustration. But what they say, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on, so whatever the comment is. But he's signed multiple contracts, and it seems like every contract, whether it's Ye or Meek Mill, everyone hates their contracts, and I don't know what the solution is to that. Like, do the contracts get read up front before they sign them? Does that make sense? Because I can't work for a job and then 3 years later complain about that job when I wanted that job. So I don't understand the money side of what they're doing, but I know from the wisdom and the health, the wealth, the taking care of yourself, to not being depressed, to not needing pills every day, I relate to that because society is broken. And the elementary school that I just recently worked at for the last 6 years, it's Montessori through 12th. And when I say they throwing pills at these little boys like crazy, I agree. Like I said, I worked at a school, so I'm sitting there and I'm hearing these sixth grade kids talking about that's racist, that's racist, that's oppressive, that's offensive, and no one is defining what is racist or what isn't racist, what is offensive or what's not offensive. So we have a soft society that is falling apart. I think the young people need to hear from individuals who are not millionaires, who are living regular everyday lives, janitors, metro bus drivers. Them are the people who should be leading society because life is work. Isn't wake up and have a party every day and repeat. I'm a father of 7 kids. This shit is hard. But if everyone, and that's why I say social media is the problem, because all kids are following is everyone who looks at like, man, I can't wait to grow up and just live a great life of rock and roll, sex, and drugs. And that's not reality. So I do understand what's needed for the youth. I just don't know if celebrities are going to be the one who can drive that message through the youth.
Mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So all of that being said, my millennial generation, be better. Including holding me accountable, be better. We're not letting this world get away from teaching our kids something that don't belong in them. No, we're not. No. We're not letting this system teach our kids what they tried to teach us and tell us that this is the way that the world goes. No, it does not. No, it does not.
But to add to that, working at a private school, this system has to stop telling all white boys that they're bad people just because they're white men. Because at this school, you know how many white boys don't like their grandpa or their father just because of the way they vote? Meanwhile, this school is $20,000 a year. You know how many young black boys really think that the police are going to shoot them? Really think they won't make it to 25? For a long time, I honest to God did not think I would make it to see 25 years old. But I go back and I think, but I never heard a white person tell me that. It was always a black rapper or a black celebrity or a black person on TV. And that's why I write with my guy right here, celebrities are too influence. Because everything I've heard negative about myself, I heard it through a black person on TV. It's like a crazy paradox where you step back and look at it. False fear, exactly, to keep you feeling like you can't be something. And that's why I say the miseducation of the Negro is so important, because Carter G. Woodson says in that book, if you can control a man's thinking, you don't have to worry about his actions. That's why you don't need slavery anymore, because why would I need to keep all y'all on a plantation when I control your mind and you don't even know it?
That's not the way we want it to go. So from 1981 to 1996, my generation, I am one of the responsible individuals that's calling.
And right there, Brody, I agree with you. I got, honest to God, I got maybe 50 friends that have been murdered and another 50 that's in jail. My good, I ain't gonna say good friend, but my homie Fat Moan, he just committed a murder like 2 weeks ago. And it is all based on their choices. However, when you don't feel like you have any other choices, I know how much anger I used to walk around with as a 14, 15-year-old kid. I know how much I had rage. But society wants you in that rage because your energy is currency once again. So that's why you got to walk around in a state of love and just letting everything flow and be a happy being. Because I've been to more funerals than I ever want to talk about. I remember being 16 and going to Jaquan's funeral, and then right after that, going to school and writing RIP on his locker. That was the first person I ever saw buried in a throwback jersey and a fitted hat with a chain on his neck. So I do agree it's based off their choices, and their choices were based off of the celebrities that they looked up to. Crazy domino effect.
On us to be better. We're having kids, bruh. Come on. We're having kids out here. And they want me to be on here talking about the same things that I do all the time. But look, I'm too politically seasoned. You know what I mean? I'm too politically seasoned out here because that's the way I grew up. I grew up in this political system, understanding that power plays all the time. But the real power is when you follow the green. And the green is something that gets defined by all these people that are playing out there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The green, the money. But while we're building our own, we have to just be aware that this is part of our conditioning and brainwashing that happened to us. So until we break free out of that, we're still going to see this world as what it's designed to be. But in order to design something better and new in you, got to start with diet, got to start with education, We have to start with ourselves, our spiritual systems. We have to let go of the old mold of being human in this world. Yo, look at the 1600s, the 1700s, the 1800s, 1900s, the 2000s, and they're over here telling us that, oh no, like it's getting better. No, it's not. No, it's not. Y'all saying it's getting better. No, it's not. We have kids picking up weapons and performing acts of violence. We have kids that are angry and depressed and don't know how to let their feelings be known. We have kids that are dealing with real, true, raw emotions, and they're running to social media to vent. The kids are running to social platforms to vent. If we don't teach them about the mind, body, and spirit and these spiritual systems, how do you expect them to learn it?
And I know we got a lot of people who don't believe in God or are atheists. I think I seen a stat that said 80% of Americans don't believe in God. But I think children need to believe in something bigger than themselves. If you don't feel that there's a purpose for your life or everything that you're going through now will get you where you want to go, then why will you try? This concept of YOLO has really destroyed the minds of youth because we keep saying, man, society wants you to have anxiety, depression, your left arm hurt, your back hurt, you're sad, take this pill. And then take this pill, and then take this pill, and then take this pill. And before you know it, you're a walking zombie. When my mama overdosed on opioids, I never thought my mom would die from taking a pill. That was like the most surreal experience ever to know mama gone over a pill. And I agree with you with we on the same page because once again, I'm all about creating. If I had his money, my YouTube channel is a lot better. My studio is a lot doper. I ain't sitting in my basement. But I agree, you have to be the change you want to see. My basketball camp that I offer every summer is free. Because I know if I make it $5, it's a lot of mamas that's going to pay that $5 to get their nails done over bringing their kids to come hoop. So I agree with you that you can't do nothing if you're not putting your money where your mouth is. And he does a lot of contributions of things around his environment or his community. I seen he bought George Floyd's family a home or whatever. But talking is going to go over the masses' head. I'm sure it's right now it's some 14-year-old kid, though, that's picking up on these gems he's dropping. So all we can hope is that everything that we say, that somebody picks it up and it keeps it going. Because I can't say I'll change the world or Kyrie or Dante will, but hopefully through this string of humanity, something can change and get better for our children and for our grandchildren.
How do you expect them to question authority when they know that the authority is not giving them what's best for them? That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna get too preachy with y'all on this because y'all probably hear this, from different spots, different places, different people. But in my generation, specifically the millennials, diet, health, well-being, forming our own spiritual system, we have the energy to shift this whole entire thing. So until we do that, we're just gonna keep fighting. But I love y'all. I love each one of y'all, and I pray for you guys as my relatives all the time. I pray to Creator and our ancestors all the time. Whether they call me crazy out here in this society, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like being called crazy in America is like, it could make you billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like being called crazy in this insane society at times, like it doesn't really faze anybody.
Yeah, I went through a period of belief and not belief and all that and stuff, and I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I just know I remember being a kid, and now I look at my kids in the face and say, damn, I created life. And I know there's so many things that I see in this physical world that I know started inside my head that nobody else knew I was thinking about, but I made it happen. So I can't say what religion you should believe or how people should feel, but I just know that conversation that you have inside your head, that's talking to God. That's how I feel. And most people, even because myself, that inner conversation used to be negative. It used to be filled with criticism and doubt. And now the inner conversation is so positive because I believe that's me talking to God. That's me talking to Creator. So why would we have a negative conversation? Why would we ever be on a low vibration? And since I've changed the way I talk to myself, which is talking to God, to me, my life has been abundant. And I learned through reading Albert Einstein and all that all geniuses talk to themselves. So I feel like I'm a genius. And hopefully you start talking to yourself and your conversation level gets to a point where you feel like you a genius.
Body anymore, you know what I mean? Because Now at this point, it's either we're doing something to further along our causes and make this revolution work, or we're not. And it doesn't look the same for everybody. Everybody has their own individual journey in this collective consciousness that we have out here. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody. So no, I don't identify as just one thing. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I identify as the truth of creator because I'm breathing and I'm able to do the things that I do every day, knowing that I don't have control of it all the time. So let's teach our kids about what we learned and how we grew up. Millennial generation. Come on. That's all I'm saying. Sound mind, sound spirit, sound body. So all my youngins out there,
Drink water.
Please,
take vitamins. Meditate.
Pay attention to what some of your older family members or relatives are saying. Your older brothers and sisters, please pay attention to them.
Yeah, I agree. I never was for kneeling for the flag. I thought Kaepernick could have. He got enough bread. He could start his own football league.
That's all.
I think LeBron got enough money. He could start his own basketball league. LeBron, he's a Chinese puppet, though.
It's bigger than entertainment.
But I could say, if I was LeBron and I became a star at 15 years old, would I even know anything about China? Would I even know that when I had a dream of getting my single mom out the hood and make it to the NBA, would I know that China was going to be behind this, tell me what I can and can't say?
It's bigger than social media. It's bigger. It's spiritually more purposeful to live a life that's aligned with standing on things that you believe in, that you know are truthful, and you have people around you.
Yeah, man. I was on a TV show. I don't know if you were seeing it, Jubilee Middle Ground. And I said, as a black man, I don't know where else I would want to be in America. Like, I could say what I want and do what I want, and it may not be the best, but I'm living Gucci. I grew up in a homeless shelter, was thugging it out, and now I'm living my best life. Yeah, I think LeBron is a fantastic athlete. I think he's a great father. I think politically, though, he just got to say whatever comes with that paycheck. He's in a spot where he can't open his mouth truthfully if he won't, and if he did, he would lose everything like Kanye. That's the downside of being young and talented, is that you don't know you're signing yourself away. Like, you are selling yourself. And so this double-edged sword, man, you got to have faith in God and know that you can get where you want to go without selling your soul to the devil. Great athlete, though.
It's bigger, y'all. It's bigger.
I do think it's crazy how every time LeBron on TV called Kyrie a kid, though. That's disrespectful as hell to me. My daddy don't even do that to me.
It's bigger. Because y'all going to get to know Halo. Yep. They're going to get to know Halo. They've hijacked my Kyrie name. So I love y'all, and I hope that you guys are having a great
if I've done
start
nothing
to your day, wherever you are in the world. All my brothers and sisters, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your healing. I'm praying for your alignment. All right? That's fine. That's fine. I grew up in this society where the crazy are sane and the sane are crazy.
Well, Malcolm X told us about the media. But watching Kyrie and Kanye watch their careers rise and fall, it just learns you got to pay attention to the systems that you're getting into. I keep saying, man, this world is a big video game, and one of us has the power to just break through. But you don't have to complain. You don't have to cry. Just sit back and study. Knowledge is power, and everyone, they keep saying I don't even want to talk the J-E-W word, but man, I got so many questions I just want to ask. If they really were at the bottom, how do they get to the top now? How do they own 96% of the media? Like, I'm not criticizing anybody. How did this mass of people stay in a slave state and this mass of people have rose to success and poverty? It's a lot of hitting tools, and I don't even really think it's hidden, honestly. I think it all comes down to having a strong family and raising strong children and all that. Do I think it's by design to break up the nuclear family? Yes and no. Because as a man, I know it's my responsibility to raise my children. I know there's government programs. I know they could give my baby mama and all them food stamps and Section 8. But as a man, I'm going to make sure they don't need any of that. So, man, there's a lot of levels on what we can do to heal society. But Let me know in the comments what y'all believe. I do think that if hurt people can hurt people, heal people can heal people. And your diet is very important. Drink water, take vitamins, meditate, disconnect from the world, disconnect from social media at times. Fasting and praying is just like peanut butter and jelly. So when you fasting, you got a deeper connection to yourself because you're denying the flesh. And whether that's fasting from eating food or sexual activities or whatever it is, you have to take care of your body. And I do understand that, and that's why I'm saying the monetary system, the only real currency there is the energy inside your body. And I mean, once you're dead, that energy is gone, and yeah, I can use your organs or whatever, but while you're here on earth, if I was worth $100 billion, yeah, I can create a lot of things, but these videos, if I was to die at this very second, this is still currency to the world. This is still empower somebody and change their life. And that's the biggest issue in the world is your voice is bigger than any dollar. Your wisdom, what you've been through in life, is more powerful than anything or what anybody would ever tell you. So your life experiences can help me. Just my life experiences can help you. But just because I've made a lot of money, that don't make me a good person. Just because I could dribble a ball really good or I could jump high or any of these things that we've been taught to praise, they really don't mean anything in the grand scheme of life when you sit down and think about it. But we've all been manipulated. I think Shakespeare said the world is a big stage, so who do you want to be? So I challenge everybody to become a star. Shoot for the moon, and if you don't make it, you will land in the stars. You did? But I shout out to everybody for rocking with me. This is we up dummy early. And I think Dante, bro, I agree with you a lot. I think it's dope to have conversation with people that you'll probably never meet or have no idea who they are. And I think common sense is slowly coming back. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but man, like my daughter is 13 and she's starting to get to age. She's like, I don't want to play sports against boys, daddy. My kids give me hope that this little short-term period of woke crap we going through won't live long. My 8-year-old came to me the other day and said, Daddy, do you think you can get Andrew Tate to come on your YouTube channel? I said, son, what you know about Andrew Tate? He said, he's really buff and has a lot of cool cars. So I think it's a lot of kids that are soaking up this wisdom, and I just want to tell everybody to be the best version of yourself. Like, you are limitless. Like, I don't know how great I can be, but I don't know how great anybody in this world could be. Like, everybody watching this video could be 10 times smarter than me, 10 times wealthier than me, 10 times happier than me. But if no one ever tells you that you're great, how will you know you're great? And I went through a big period of my life thinking that my skin color really determined who I can be. That how many women I slept with really determined how dope of a man I was. Like, I was kept in such a low vibrational state that I was slowly killing myself. And when I look around in society, I see a bunch of sick people slowly killing themselves thinking that they're medicating themselves. So, man, spread love, spread positive vibes, be the change you wish to see in this world. I'm about to sit here and knock out some videos for y'all. Hope everyone has a super mega awesome day. Never be too proud to pray, because remember that conversation with you and you, that's prayer, and nobody else got to know about it. As Albert Einstein said, your imagination is a preview of life's coming attractions. So you know what's in your head. Hold it there until you bring it into this reality. As Bob Proctor always said, if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hair. Thanks for everybody tuning on the live. See y'all soon. Enjoy your day.